What up, people? Welcome to a very glitchy edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world, what he does. Yes, I'm bringing back a moniker this week that I put on the side, put on the sideline, put on the back burner, but due to the events that's happened in the last 10 to 14 days, and due to various conversations I've had with various people, I figured I need to bring back out the closet, dust off the mothballs, and bring back the voice of the voiceless. Yes, and that's who you're talking to. That's who you see. That's who I be. This week, I will not be talking about sports. Maybe I'll give a little couple tidbits here and there at the end. But this week, it's going to double at two things. One, it's going to double as my Christmas episode because next week, when it's actually Christmas, I will not be recording an episode. You want to know why? I will tell you why. Because my grandchildren will be here in effect for the whole week. And being the fact that I'm such a doting grandfather, since I'm just a doting pop, since I have my priorities in order, I will not be having any time to actually bless y'all the Christmas. I swear, this is going to be a very, I swear, it's almost like the powers that be don't really want me to touch on the topics that I'm going to touch on this week, but I'm going to survive. I'm going to strive and get this as possible. At least, the very least, audio only episode at the end of the day. But best believe, I just got this in the mail. I'm going to show off the shirt. And I know probably people probably, why do you have that white woman on your chest? Because that's my prerogative. Because that's what I felt like doing. Because she is the ultimate Karen. She is the ultimate, let me speak to the manager. She is the ultimate, let me tell you something. Listen, when it comes to the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, there's so many subliminals that you have to have the top-notch intellect to pick up on. That's why I'm up here and the rest of my peers are down there. Yeah, I did it right. Don't mind me. But regardless, two topics that I'm going to discuss this week. One is something that I touched on about 18 months ago when it first happened, and I actually definitely said that this outcome was probably going to be exactly what it's going to be, what it was. And that was the Daniel Penny nearly around. He was acting dangerous. You know, he felt he was endangered. He had to protect not only himself but others on the train. And of course, 18 months no trial, and now he's going on this tour, rubbing with JD Vance, you know, Double A himself. And I got a lot of feelings on that. I got a lot of thoughts on that, and I'm going to express those thoughts right here on the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. The other topic might be a little bit more controversial, and that would be the topic of Luigi Mangione. Is that his name? Mangione? I don't know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, the Luigi guy, the guy that snuck up behind the CEO of United and him out. 1, 2, 3. And there's been a lot of discussion over the airwaves, in the privacy of your own home, over DMs, over the phone, etc., about how we should feel, or matter of fact, not about how we should feel, just based on, yeah, that mother effer had what he deserved. Eh, perhaps, but at the same time, a lot of people haven't had any empathy. A lot of people haven't had any sympathy due to the victim and are propping this cold-blooded murderer up to be like a Robin Hood type figure. I don't know. I feel a certain way. that that there's a large segment of the society that claps and applauds murder or caught on video. Are we really in a state that you might as well just implement the? It's crazy because I know I've been glitching back and forth, and hopefully I'm getting my point across. But two topics I'm going to try to get across this week. Slash optimum. So I'm going to close this and actually get the rest of the show on the way. So without further ado, good night and goodbye. Bye.
Salty thoughts of Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hide the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music mixed for living. Rep New York City, but ain't the politician. Always bring the heat, Steph bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best. In the word of what I do, all y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world at what he does.
Are these two gentlemen that you see on your screen for my YouTube viewers, are they vigilant citizens? Is it vigilante season part 2? Do they have a case of fake bravado? 2 cases. One has a verdict that has come in, another whose story is just starting. Both were, quote unquote, for the people. But were they? They were for the people, right? I mean, you had Mr. Penny, who, had to protect his fellow strap hangers from a crazed man who's ready to die. That's what they say. So he was for the people, right? Then you had Mr. Luigi, which is a crazy name. Like they still name mother effers Luigi. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just not my culture or whatever, but I mean, I thought that the name was passe. Like, do they still name people Mario? Maybe, possibly, but neither here nor there. He shot a dude in cold blood. One of the 1%, the 1%er out there. The head of the CEO of UnitedHealthCare. So he did it for the people. He was the Rikishi of this generation, huh? I did it for the Rock. I did it for the people. I'm going to actually play 2 clips from it's one of the magic. It's one of the best things of having such longevity in this podcasting space, in this video space, in this YouTube space, is the fact that I can actually have show y'all references from older shows. So I'm going to run these two clips from an episode. Matter of fact, episode 10. We're up to 76 right now. Episode 10 of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. And some of it was little jokes, but actually it seemed like things have come full circle. Run the tape! Unfortunately, it's for the subject at hand. Is it vigilante season in New York? I asked that question seriously. Is it? A couple years ago, and I'm going to go on a slight tangent, but I'm going to get right back on course. Because before I get into the seriousness, I got to get a joke off. A couple years ago in wrestling, Stern, the wrestler known as Stern, debuted for the first time ever in the WWE at Survivor Series 2014. And he debuted to right the wrongs of the Authority. The Authority had run amok. The Authority had ran rampant throughout the WWE. And Stern debuted to make sure that the Authority was put to rest. You know what his nickname was when he first debuted in the WWE? The Vigilante. They even distorted his voice, because I guess his voice wasn't manly enough for Vincent K. McMahon. So they even distorted his voice when he was trying to explain his actions on how he was going to get rid of the Authority. Never mind the fact that the authority returned about a couple weeks later. But I remember they distorted his voice and his name. He was like, "Yes, I came to the WWE to right the wrongs and to get rid of the Authority. I am the Vigilante. I am from your worst nightmare. I am Stern." Sorry for the technical difficulties. Thanks to Optimum, thanks to StreamYard, thanks to other municipalities that don't want me to get my truth out there. I know a conspiracy when I see one. I swear, because my opinions are going to probably be unpopular to the majority of people that's listening and viewing this thing. They want to silence my voice. They want to silence the voice of the voiceless. And guess what? Guess what? Guess what? They're almost being successful. I have no idea if this is actually going to work. I have no idea if I'm actually going to be able to complete this, but I'm going to try my best. I just was on the phone for about a half with Optimum, trying to get my internet and my Wi-Fi situation rectified. Part of the problem, I believe, is StreamYard itself. And for the amount of money that I pay per month, which I do not recoup at all. Well, yeah, not at all. This is unacceptable. But neither here nor there. I have a message to get across. I have topics to get to, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Unfortunately, y'all are not going to be able to see me in 1080p because maybe, just maybe, it's on StreamYard's problem. But neither here nor there. Where I believe I left off, but I was going to start talking about Luigi Mangione, or Mangione, or Mangione, or whatever the hell his name is, and his cold-blooded murder to this guy that's on your screen right now, CEO of UnitedHealthCare. CEO Brian Thomas was 50 years old when he was outside of a luxury midtown apartment and he was chillingly cut down by this quote unquote methodical killer who used a gun with a silencer. He was repeatedly shot by Luigi, who we now know was the masked gunman, who had been waiting outside the Hilton Hotel along 6th Avenue, where the CEO was hosting an investors conference that morning. Yeah. Now, do I have screenshots of the situation? No. Could I have attained screenshots of the infraction of the cold-blooded murder? Unfortunately, yeah. Tell you the truth, if I really wanted to, I probably could have got footage and put it on this stream. And that's one of my pet peeves with this situation. And I might, at the risk of repeating myself, but with my tenuous internet situation, I might as well get this shit out here right now while I actually got a sturdy stream. The fact that this man was gunned down in the middle of the street and it was played on constant loop on all the news outlets is one thing. And some people would say, well, why do you have any sympathy for that? You shouldn't have any sympathy for that. Because that's the same media that when a person of color, a black male, there's a shooting, there's a killing in the hood, they dig up all the dirt on the victim to try to make him seem like he deserved it. They deserved it. So why would you have any type of sympathy for the fact that this man, CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, what have you, NBC, CBS, ABC, so forth, whatever. I mean, just to me, that's just like tactless, that's tasteless. And at the end of the day, we are all human beings. I mean, our sense of compassion is what's supposed to separate us from the wild kingdom, right? Our sense of compassion, our sense of decency is supposed to separate us from the animals, right? I, my friends, am no animal. I, my friends, consider myself a benevolent man, a benevolent individual. And I don't say that in jest. I don't say that as a joke. I say that because, especially for the last 2 years of my journey, I believe that in order for you to receive grace, grace must be given. I'll continue. Mr. Thompson was well respected in his insurance field, raking in a salary of nearly $10 million a year to head the nation's largest private health insurer, according to the Economic Research Institute. But his company, UnitedHealthCare, also had a controversial history of rejecting current claims and faced a Department of Justice antitrust investigation. The shooting took place little more than an hour before UnitedHealth's investors conference was scheduled to begin in the Hilton. Now, this dude that is about to be on your screen in a very few minutes, him, this information that I'm about to read comes courtesy of the New York Post, and it's not really getting in depth on the actual details of the incident, but it's more on his body language as he was escorted into the Pennsylvania courthouse. Oh yeah, Pennsylvania is where he was found. And right now there's a tussle on whether he's going to be excommunicated over here to face his crime because it happened in the state of New York, in the city of New York City. But this next text that I'm about to read mostly focuses on his body language, and I'm going to give you my point of views on certain passages. Luigi Mangione's body language as he was escorted into a Pennsylvania courthouse gives insight on the accused killer's mindset, according to a body language expert. As he was escorted into Blair County Court this past Tuesday by a cadre of officers, the jumpsuit-clad 26 years old was wide-eyed and had his head on a swivel as he shouted at surrounding reporters. Susan Constantine told Fox News Digital that Mangione showed a rigidity that indicated he was fearful. Yeah, I bet he was. He had no idea he was going to get caught, right? Do you know what kind of piece of meat he's going to be in the holding cell? What kind of piece of meat he's going to be in a federal penitentiary? What type of piece of meat he's going to be? 26 years old and young? 26 and good. Those who get that reference, salute. But through all that, Mangione showed a sense of arrogance and pompousness through just a slight raise of his chin. And the way he looked down his nose at his surroundings. Here's another screenshot. Keep in mind what we're dealing with. A person who has been wronged in his own mind in some sort of way. We don't know yet exactly all the reasons why, she said. We also know he's adopted some sort of radical belief system, and he feels that he was the one that needed to act. Yeah. Okay. Likewise, Constantine said, Mangione's chin is pointed up in his mugshot photos, which I'll bring right here. Both the ones taken in his orange jumpsuit and the ones taken in his blue suicide prevention smock. Remember, I told you that chin is up. When we see the chin up, we can see Adam's apple. We can see the Adam's apple pop out. The Adam's apple pop out. His nose pops up in the air. All of this is pride and arrogance and pompousness, militant and prideful. His expression, she said, is a stark contrast from the smiling photograph of the suspect flirting with a hostile employee in New York before the December 4th assassination. This was not the sinister killing This was not the sinister face of a cold-blooded killer. This was him. His charismatic personality, his flirty personality, the one that everybody and his family, his friends are talking about, Constantine said. He's a great guy. They like him. He's, engaging, and he's, speaks in front of the public and doesn't have any fear about it. That's his personality. So when they're in active pursuit, there is one personality. And then when he's in relationships, he has another one. He's able to disassociate from what is the sinister thoughts and ideas and radicalism that's actually flooding through his mind. All of a sudden, the smile turned to a frown during his perp walk. The lifted cheeks turned into droopy cheeks. And then he had a more rigid and more tension in his facial expression that was dissimilar to what we had seen in the past. So this was a game over expression. The suspect's confident stance during the shooting captured a surveillance footage is the other side of the quote unquote cube. It indicates the planning that went into the attack. He had already rehearsed. He was ready for the engagement. This was not something that just happened spontaneously. This is something that he thought out, measured, and planned, Constantine said. Control. He's not startled. He knows exactly what he's going to do. That's why his continuance is down. His energy level is down because he's hyper focused. Constantine told Fox Digital that Mangione's body language, both during his perp walk and in a photograph snapped by police in the holding cell the day before, indicated he did not expect to be apprehended by police. He didn't get off scot-free. Now, I have a couple questions. Yes, I do. I have a lot of questions, to tell you the truth. But I'm going to start it like this. What did this killing actually accomplish? I'll wait. No, seriously. What did it really accomplish in the day-to-day um things, day-to-day aspects of all of us, plebeians, all of us 99 percenters, all of us Joe Schmoes, all of us blue collar heroes? Well, there's only one blue collar hero, but you know what I'm talking about. What did it really accomplish? Did premiums instantly go down? Not that I know of. Did these claims that we were getting denied, all of a sudden, all those claims that were getting denied, did they suddenly get approved? Don't think so. Did this killing automatically abolish all the laws, all the rules, all the regulations that have helped make this process common practice? Nope. That didn't happen either. What about all the lobbyists? Did all the lobbyists disband? What about all the politicians that have a stake in these insurance companies while simultaneously telling you that they're fighting for you, that they're fighting for change, they're fighting for a new way, we're fighting for a new era? Did any of that come to fruition in the moments after he shot those bullets in the back of this CEO? This one CEO? Like that was a company of one person? Did these politicians suddenly have a rude awakening? Did they suddenly gain a conscience? No. Nope. Nope. On a personal note, like I said before, what about the family of the victim? I mean, I know y'all don't give a fuck, right? Because listen, karma came and bit him on the ass. He got what he had long deserved, right? You know, getting $10 million a year and getting bonuses almost equal to that amount. Meanwhile, this suspect portrays himself to be one of y'all. You know, he had severe back problems. He had back surgery, and he got denied, and a lot of his claims got denied. So he felt like he had to be the one to make these wrongs right. I mean, couldn't he have done like a large majority of people do and just say, you know what? All right, y'all give me these bills, but guess what? I'm just not gonna pay him. Or maybe y'all do know that he comes from a family of millionaires, right? That he's quote unquote, I believe he's Ivy educated, right? Um, and that probably plays into a lot of the arrogance that he showed of. Listen, I got all the money to get the best lawyers that money can buy. Get off. If they even think it's going to be me, why would they think it's going to be me? I'm Luigi. I could go down to the manhole and just live my life down there. I could eat magic mushrooms. Oh, my bad. I keep on getting him confused with Super Mario Brothers. My bad. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah, that's right. Y'all not giving a fuck. Bad enough, like I said, this is played on a constant loop on all these news networks since. Let me ask you this question. And it doesn't have to be apples to apples. It doesn't have to be oranges to oranges. It could be just the slightest similarity. How would you like it if the last seconds of a lost loved one played for the whole world to see? I mean, it could be something as innocent as a grandparent catching a stroke, and that stroke ended to be fatal. A nephew, no, matter of fact, an uncle, a great uncle having a heart attack in his house, and the ring camera caught his last moments gasping for breath. It could be as simple as a child of yours having a severe asthma attack, or so they thought, and not realizing that they were going into cardiac arrest. And those moments were played for the whole world to see over and over and over and over again. Whether there's an assailant, whether there's a suspect, or whether it's natural causes, the people left behind still have to deal with that grief. But because this person wore the black hat, this person was the villain, their loved ones, the ones that they left behind, don't deserve any type of sympathy, don't deserve any type of respect. Just like, you know what? Okay, we understand this is a big news item, but we don't need to actually show up the point where he pulls out the gun on the unsuspecting man, aims and fires, and then after you see that spark, then it freezes, because God forbid we actually see the blood splatter. And there's probably people out there that be like, why did y'all cut it off like that? We see more violent things on our TV every day. Like I said, whether or not his actions are deemed dastardly by the almighty unwashed masses, who have never done anything that might cause others to side eye them. Oh my God, no. Never mind that. Have we really gotten that depraved? Like, I've recently found out in the last couple of days, tell you the truth, in the aftermath, that I know people that worked for that company and or actually knew Thompson personally. 6 degrees of Mike Steph. Some left on their own accord. Some got fired. Some saw that they didn't have any future there. Either here or there. Small world, isn't it? A small world. Others, they begrudgingly do their shift and keep it pushing. But to me, the main part of why I'm even bringing this up, because I told a friend of mine that I really wasn't going to touch the subject, and over the last couple of weeks I really wasn't. Then I was like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe because of certain things that's happened in the last week that have really tested my newfound zen, has really tested my newfound patience, have really tested my newfound centering. And this still being in a news cycle, I was like, listen, yeah, I can talk about football anytime I want. Tell you the truth, I talk about 4 times a week. I'm not talking about basketball yet. Regardless, I can talk about sports, I can talk about wrestling, I can talk about all that shit. I actually even talk about me, which I actually planned on doing. But tell you the truth, I think this is actually more pertinent. Yeah, I know, more pertinent than moi? Yeah. Because the way I'm tackling this is actually more about me than about how anybody else is feeling. It's about actually how I'm feeling about what I see, what I read, what I hear, what I witness. The cheering has been disconcerting. Like, this dude Luigi is a patron saint. I think he's a patron saint of sons of bitches. Once again, those who get that reference, kudos to you. Some say he's a Robin Hood of sorts. A Robin Hood of what? Stealing crumbs and giving them and leaving them the silver spoon that he was born with? Fuck out of here. Like I said, his family is worth millions. Millions! Just that fact alone would have him in better quarters than dude from around the way who was a chain snatcher. That dude who says he was just trying to get some bread to feed his seed. Or the dude that was just trying to get some bread to get that next high. Whichever, whatever, is the truth, he'll be in a better situation than them. When police finally arrested Luigi, a troubling number of people hailed this affluent Ivy League grad as a hero, showering him with praise and even offering to pay his legal fees. Mangione, a rich kid who hails from a prominent Maryland real estate family, is probably a sociopathic narcissist. Multiple mental health experts have said, listen, I used to call myself sociopathic, but I've yet to go out on a killing spree. So some might say that my sympathy for the assailant, well, for the victim, can be skewed as sociopathic or sense of narcissism. They would be wrong, but they can say that. Mangione's social media post show a confused ideology that ranges from preaching against capitalism to railing against wokeness. experts said. But this your man's though. That's your man's. Right? Wokeness. He's against wokeness. Even though, never mind about the fact that that whole term to me is cringeworthy because everybody knows what real people know what the real meaning of woke meant, and whatever's been put in place in the last 8 years ain't it. But that's your man's. The patron saint of sons of bitches railed against wokeness. All right. All right. Society at large has also heaped a fair share of scorn when the unnamed fast food worker who spotted Luigi at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania branded him as a snitch. It's a rat. That's why. Not saying that I would have done such, but someone saw something and said something. Isn't that all the rave over the last couple of years since 2011? You know, see something, say something, be vigilant. I mean, the same people who gave the boys the word of, yo, Luigi down here having a Big Mac, are in the same situation as they were just being vigilant. So what? One part of vigilantism is okay, but the other part gets you labeled as a snitch, gets you labeled as a rat. I don't know. I would ask, but at the same time, I think I'm gonna be quiet. This your man that y'all riding for. This your man that deserves a hero's welcome, deserves a parade down the Canyon of Heroes, right? That's your man, right? You know, Mr. Unibrow himself, right? Mr. Fake Outrage himself, right? Just saying. I'm just saying. Now, that's one side of the equation of this vigilante season part 2. I'm going to show you the other side in a few minutes. A jury of 7 women and 5 men heard almost 5 weeks worth of arguments and evidence and deliberated for almost a week. And it ultimately came to a sound verdict on one of 2 charges. Daniel Penny had not acted in a criminally negligent way that led to Mr. Neely's death. Yo, I've been watching Sting for 30 years. Sting never had that deep voice. And the fact that they call him the vigilante, you can hear it in Vince McMahon's voice. The vigilante, stern. That's what I have for you. You're gonna be the vigilante. You walk around the streets of Gotham with the bat, taking out all the evildoers. You are the vigilante, Sting. Is that what's going on right now? Is it? Like I said in the intro, years ago, 40, probably 40 years ago, not even 30, about 40 years ago, we had the vigilante, the subway vigilante, Bernard Getz, that felt emboldened enough because he was tired of being taken advantage of. He was tired of being threatened. He was tired of being, of having that fear of being robbed. That he got on the subway that one night, that one fateful night, with his gun, pretty much on his Charles Bronson-ish. Make my day. Yeah, I know that's Clint Eastwood. Bear with me here. Death Wish, Charles Bronson. Story of a vigilante. Took the law in his own hands. You know how many times he took the law in his own hands? How many Death Wish were there? Yeah, Death Wish, the original. Yeah, Death Wish 1, Death Wish 2, Death Wish 3, Death Wish 4. I don't know if they got up to 5. But these movies was set in the late 70s, early 80s. And probably put that seed of a courage in Bernard Goetz's mind that he was going to be that year's Charles Bronson. Some people say that Daniel Penny should have never been charged over the death of a violent, drug-addled Jordan Neely, who was threatening passengers on the F train on May 1st of last year before this former Marine restrained him with a chokehold. That Penny was driven by empathy. See how that word can be twisted however you want to use it? That Mr. Penny was driven by empathy for the women and children recoiling in fear as Neely shrieked, "I'll hurt everybody. I'll kill you. I don't care if I go to prison." The sad surveillance footage, aka somebody's cell phone, shows Neely struggling with Penny and another man restrained him for 7 minutes. According to the police, Mr. Neely was breathing when they arrived. Breathing. Was he breathing deep breaths? Was it a shallow breathing? Was he breathing through his nose? Was he breathing through his mouth? Was he breathing through his gills because, he was just such a fucking monster? And I'm talking about these two parallels because in both cases, these men thought that they were doing something for the greater good. The greater good. Just saying. Now, these quotes are courtesy, once again, of the New York Post. And they are from none other than Mr. Daniel Penny. I didn't see a black man threatening passengers. I saw a man threatening passengers, a lot of whom were people of color. Red flag number one. Red flag number one. I'm sorry. When a white dude starts swinging around that people of color phrase, to me, that's the same as when a white dude comes up to you that doesn't know you and clearly sees you black, clearly thinks that you talking Ebonics, and clearly says, "Hey, what's going on, bro? Don't bro me." Because I know what that bro means. That bro has a lot of inclinations. That bro is said with such an accent. "Yo, what's up, bro? My man." Do you say, "Yo, what's up, my man?" Oh yeah, my man. That's another one. "Yo, my man. Hey, what's going on, my man? My main man." Like we still in the 70s. "Give me 5 on the black hand side." Right? Yeah. Anyway, I was scared for myself. But not only was I scared for myself, But I looked around and I saw women and children. And he was yelling in their faces. I did not want to be put in that situation, but I couldn't just sit still and let him carry out these threats. Jordan Neely's family pushed back last week, stating Daniel Penny's press release is not an apology nor an expression of regret. It's a character assassination and a clear example of why he believed he was entitled to take Jordan's life. In short, his actions on that F train and now his words show why he, Mr. Penny, deserves to be in prison. But he's a vigilant citizen, isn't he? The only thing missing from him is a cape, a growling voice, and a utility belt. Because he proclaimed himself to be the savior of Gotham. In the span of 6 days, Subway vigilante Daniel Penny has gone from sweating a future in a jail cell to hanging out with the president-elect in a luxury box overseeing the Army-Navy game this past weekend. The Marine, and we're not talking about John Cena here, the Marine vet received a hero's welcome Saturday as he joined soon-to-be Commander-in-Chief to y'all, Donald Trump and Vice President-elect AA J.D. Vance. Penny, who was acquitted, speaking to Janine Pirro in his first interview since a jury acquitted of negligent homicide charges, said prosecutors seem to have their heads in the sand. It really showed their arrogance in kind. The lack of understanding of what's really happening and really what public perception of crime is. And no matter whatever anyone says on the news, it's pretty prevalent. It just showed their arrogance that they thought they were going to get me on something. Ooh, talking spicy. Talking spicy. It was disheartening for sure, but I don't mean to get political. Yeah, he's talking to on Fox Nation to Janine Pirro. Okay, he doesn't mean to get political. Yeah. All right. These are their policies that have clearly not worked, that the people, the general population, are not in support of. Yet their egos are just too big to just admit that they're wrong and they can't reverse what they've done because it's a political suicide for them, I guess. But he doesn't want to be political. He doesn't want to get into politics, but he's sure speaking like somebody who's been schooled. Not this deranged vet. Now all of a sudden he's the spokesman of the defenders. Now all of a sudden he is the self-proclaimed voice of the voiceless, which I'm not gonna lie, I take high offense to. How about this statement? He said he was taken aback by how far the subway system had deteriorated upon his return from active duty. When he began living and studying in the 5 boroughs, definitely different from what I remember it to be before I went to the Marine Corps. Before the Marine Corps, pre-COVID, it was pretty tame, pretty safe, he said. I guess I was pretty innocent to all the things that were going on. But once I got here, and this whole new, I guess, perception of what happened and the perception of safety here in New York. Things have changed. Things have changed. To me, to put it blunt, sound like a case of he got on that train with the mindset of, I wish a nigga would. He was ready to strike. Once the jacket was thrown, he didn't say anything prior to that, at least. I don't remember him saying anything prior to that, Penny said. It was really at that point, too, that that feeling was a vacuum that I've never felt before in any situation. Whoa. Let me get this straight. You're a fucking Marine vet. Been in combat or been in combat-like situations. And a supposed erratic man on the subway gave you a feeling that you have never felt before in any situation. He said he took off his earbuds as things quickly unfolded to keep an eye on the situation, as Neely began screaming and threatening strap hangers, loudly making demands from frightened passengers for fast food and drinks, and warned that he was going to kill somebody and go to jail. Within those 15 seconds, I mean, there was contemplation. Penny told Pyrrha, should I just wait? Should I go to a different car? Should I move away? But I saw the looks on a mother and on the school kids and other passengers, women, children. The threats were imminent and something had to be done, he said. Passengers were holding on to each other and people were stuck to their chairs. They felt pinned, and I felt pinned. I felt nervous. I felt scared. When we first get to the ground, he lands on my chest. He knocks the wind out of me. I hit my head on the subway floor, Penny said. There's a moment of calm. I feel a tension in his body. It's almost like he was shocked that someone did something. Like, this nigga was really shocked that I sprung the action. How dare he? Gotta show this nigga who's boss. And that lasted for a second or two. And I was in that second or two. I was hoping that would be it, he said. Didn't happen. Neely planted his feet on the ground and arched back. He was able to lift me up and pedal his feet. Penny, who called Neely extraordinarily strong, said he wrapped his legs around him and hung on, sensing that the vagrant strength came in part from smoking the synthetic drug K2. Whoa. How the fuck do you know if he was high, and if he was high, where that high was coming from? So it wasn't a crack high. It wasn't a weed high. It wasn't an alcoholic rampage. It was the superhuman strength of smoking K2. And I conclude by saying, he says, I look over my shoulder, and one of the things I say is, where's the police? I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I was swimming a mile a day, and I still could not believe this dude's level of endurance. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words. But yet this guy gets off scot-free, like I predicted 18 months ago. I knew this shit was going to happen. Always happens. Then you have the outcry of people saying, well, this is what happens when the mentally ill doesn't get the don't get the help that they need, which is true. And they just let them out in the street, which is true. But who's to say that Daniel Penny isn't one of those mentally ill people, those mentally ill individuals that have been left out in the street, let out in the street to commit uh, violent crimes, not only violent crimes, but murder. See how you can look at it? The same people who applaud Mr. Luigi, do y'all applaud the actions of Daniel Penny? Both felt that they had to take action. Both felt that they had to be the avenging angel. Come down with furious vengeance and anger, so to speak. Is it vigilante season again? Is it? Are we really going to just approve a real life purge? 1, 2, 3, like I said earlier. Why not? People need to be very, very careful about the things that they think they want, the things they think they approve of, the things they think they champion. Because when you're on the opposite end, you risk labeling yourself as a hypocrite. You risk allowing everything, because everything, this world that rotates on its axis goes in 360 degrees rotation. $3.06. Yeah, you might laugh, cause you did not do your math. A 1, 2, 3. The world keeps turning. Oh, what a day. What a day. What a day. Well, people, that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me in this here podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. Next week, like I said at the very beginning, there will not be a new episode of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast because I will be enjoying my grandchildren who are spending the whole week with Pop Pop, Gigi, aunties, and uncles. Yes. So, due to the fact that whatever free time I am actually going to have away from work, going to be devoted to my grandchildren, and the fact that, listen, I'm a very, very, very open book, and I love to share various aspects of my personal life, but seeing my grandchildren in the flesh, it's not one of them. There's too many pervs out there. And listen, I am not willingly putting any of my grandchildren's stuff on, especially on YouTube. Shit. Yes, we would not have Benson the Stabler trying to come to the conclusion of what happened to one of my grandchildren. No, 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 no. Yeah, this is gonna double as my Christmas episode. And Yeah, so I wish each and every one of y'all a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and I'll be back before the New Year's. That I will drop before New Year's. But before I get out of here, and I'm not going to do my regular plugging segment because at this point in time, as much I've been trying to record this since about 3:45 this afternoon, and it's now 9:30. No, don't get me wrong. You think I've been sitting in front of this laptop trying to record this for 5 hours straight? No, 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 no. Did some errands. Went to see one of my lovely aunts. Dropped off some cake. Went to see my mother-in-law. Dropped off some ingredients for cake. Took my wife around the world in one day. Actually put something on Instagram. Yeah, so I've been doing things. I've been doing big things. But before I press my luck and I end up getting cut off, I think it's probably best for me to try to wrap this up. But before I go, big shout out to Gimmick Infringement for being the two-time finalists in the sports podcast, best wrestling podcast. Please check out the boys at Gimmick Infringement. You know what? It's gonna be so unorthodox, but yeah, I'm back. Please go to sportspodcastgroup.com. Podcast category, Gimmick Infringement, Winchester and McDowell. Congratulations. Back to back. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Winchester for getting his master's. Yes. I saw the pomp and circumstance in the background. And best believe I told you in person, well, personally, congratulations. I'm really proud of you, really happy for you, and continue being great. So please check them out. They drop each and every late Sunday night, early Monday morning on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group and on all streaming platforms where podcasts are available. Number 2, please check out Desmond Power of Hip to the Games, because guess what? He was nominated. Yes, that's right. He was nominated in 2025 for Best Basketball Podcast on sportspodcastgroup.com. Their awards. Yes. So please check out Desmond Powell, Hip to the Games. Desmond Powell was a kid with the grandest of NBA dreams. And he is now fulfilling his dreams just on the other side of the mic, other side of the mirror, other side of the camera. Still, one love. So please check him out. And last but not least, please check out the Baseline NBA podcast. The Baseline NBA podcast with Warren Shore and Mr. Cal. Yes. They are also up for Best Podcast, Best Basketball Podcast on sportspodcastgroup.com. Please, one of those 3. They're all part of the 19 Media Group. And please give them a vote. And not only give them a vote, check each and every one of their podcasts out. And if it's the first time y'all checking them out, guess what? Let them know that Mike Steph sent you. And salute to all of them. Since it is Christmas, I'd like to give a shout out to the Black Wrestling podcast, the homies, Math, Cal, Fam, Miss Mimi. Salute to them. Salute to the homie Zell, Body More Bottles. Salute to you. And of course, I'm about to forget somebody. No, I'm not. I'm leaving the best for last. Please check out Hidden Gems Football. That's right. Please check out Hidden Gems Football each and every Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday when me and the Mojo King preview that upcoming week's NFL action. We give you survivor picks. We give you some fantasy plays on occasion. We let you know over under, spreads, money line, etc. And plus, we just give y'all all the news that you can use. Unfortunately, that's probably going to be one of the things that I'm going to miss also next week. But I'm quite sure, and not even quite sure, I am 100% confident and positive that the Mojo King will give you everything you need to know. And he'll probably bring something from the archives out just to make your boy Mike Steph, that is, be the unpredictable individual that everybody knows me to be. But please, Thursdays on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group, and all streaming platforms where podcasts are available. And because that last glitch came, that means I need to get up out of here. So until later, goodbye.
Standing around transfixed because we were watching a news conference for about 30 minutes. At least I do.
Your skills are minimal. I'm nice behind bars, but I ain't a criminal. Me at the top, yep, the pinnacle. Get off my dick, talking genitals in my crosshairs, but take the high road. 12-month ticket still in denial. I'm way too kind, yo. Donnie was viral, petty residue resides in my mind, though. Punchlines, metaphors that the competitors that puff on the lock, save drops on the second floor. Do it for the art, a culture I'm begging for. Nicer than those who drop on the regular, go straight for the juggler. Change my middle name, just wanted to build. Forgot this was a dirty game. Recycle this beat, it needed a little flame. Pain in my ass with a low down dirty shame. The catalyst of this rap shit, Mike Steph. Remember that name? Donnie Ooze no more.